And I think shareholders are frustrated, not just because there's a possibility she'll go out and spend this money. It's simply because they were told that this money would be coming back to them. And whenever there's a reversal of the plan, investors say, what gives? So that explains that part of the story. But to answer your question, there are a few places where she could look, because our understanding is there are three key areas that Marissa Mayer is focusing on. One of them would be mobile, and I think everybody understands that. It's the same issue that keeps, Facebook and Google up at night. People would argue in some cases that Yahoo's got some catching up to do. They might also argue that Yahoo's got some catching up to do in the social area. When we think of social networking, we certainly don't think of Yahoo. And then a third area is their ad platforms. And this is a big step, because there was a view that they might start to outsource some of the advertising technology they have, maybe to a Microsoft or maybe to a Google. Under Marissa Mayer, there's a possibility they'll not only keep it, but do some other acquisitions. And then there's the local area. There's been buzz in the past about Yahoo's interest in Yelp. We decided to ask Jeremy Stoppelman, now that Marissa Mayer is there, who he knows pretty well, whether or not there could be a closer relationship between the two. Here's what he told us.
We'd love to work with a company like Yahoo, and in general, we're out there trying to forge some of these relationships, trying to drive home the ubiquity of our content. Yelp's got really the best local content out there, and we think it's important to bring that to users wherever they are. If they're on Bing or if they're on Yahoo, we'd love to talk about making that happen.
And of course, local was one of Marissa's areas when she was at Google. She's the one who pioneered the acquisition of Zagat back then. Let's talk a little bit about some of the executive changes going on there. You've learned about another senior executive that's leaving. Yeah,
Michelle Prati. This is somebody who worked closely with Ross Levinson, who also left. And I think there's a big question about whether or not some of the other senior executives are going to be sticking around for a long time. I mentioned Ross Levinson. Michael Barrett is a senior ad person that Levinson was keen on having in there. Mickey Rosen. Even Tim Morse. What is his future? The chief financial officer, who was also the interim CEO. Remember, with this latest development at Yahoo, he kind of becomes the fall guy, because he was the one who said to shareholders, we're going to be giving you that cash from the Alibaba deal. All of a sudden, that's different.
And it's interesting because Scott Thompson already sort of cleaned house, like Blake Irving, for example, gone, along with a number of other people. Meantime, you're also hearing that she's been working very closely with one of Yahoo's co-founders.
Yes, this is David Filo. Now, when you think of the co-founders of Yahoo, a lot of times people think about Jerry Yang, because he was the CEO, but Jerry Yang is nowhere to be seen. He's not on the scene anymore. Right. David Filo, though, is somebody who's always been a constant presence at the company, but arguably has not had a significant role under the most recent regimes there. We're hearing with Marissa Mayer, she has been talking a lot with David. He's been reporting directly to her. He is a technology guy like Marissa. He knows the roots better than anybody else. So potentially he can help with that roadmap, especially if some of the other executives are more focused on the traditional media, which is definitely different than her approach.